Hi, how are you? I hope you are well wherever you are. My name is Lois Gidiga and I am an RCIC, that is a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, and I am coming to you from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and this is my weekly video that I give tips on Canadian immigration. I hope wherever you are, you're doing well. Thank you for joining me. Thank you. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome. And may I ask you, please stop and subscribe. Subscribe and turn on that notification so that you're not missing out on our weekly videos. Okay? For my fans, thank you for joining again. Thank you for keeping it here. Thank you for sharing my videos, passing information over to your friends, to your relatives, and your loved ones. I appreciate your support. As usual, the information on my videos is just for your information purposes only. It should never, it's not in any way, shape, or form supposed to be legal advice. If you need legal advice on an issue, if you have any legal question that is particular, that is individual, please send us an email. Our email address is on our website. Our website is www.mileleimmigrationservices.ca. You're going to find our email address there. Please send us an email if you have anything particular, and please request to book an appointment. We only talk to people on appointment basis. All right? Yes, that is out of the way. There's a reason that I'm doing this video. I feel like this video is long overdue. And this video mostly is actually just basic information, which some people know, but a lot of people also don't know. I keep getting a lot of emails, and that's how I get topics for my videos. So a lot of people ask me, tell me how I can come to Canada. I want to come to Canada. Tell me how much it costs. And that throws me off balance because there's so many ways through which you can come to Canada. Actually, Canada has a lot of programs, a lot of streams that you can use. So it depends on what you are eligible for. I have said it before that Canadian immigration is merit-based. And when I say merit-based, is that you have to meet a certain criteria. You have to be eligible for whatever class that you are applying for. We do not have the lottery system like the United States. We don't have the DV lottery. That is a United States program. Canadian immigration is merit-based. So what do you qualify for? So I'm not going to tell people what they qualify for here, but I'm going to give you a general idea so that when you're asking that question, at least you know you want to come as a visitor, you want to come as this or the other. I also like to refer people to the government website. The Canadian Immigration Department has a really good website. I know it's extensive, has a lot of information, but you can always get general ideas, general information on immigration. So please do your due diligence, do some research. Don't just send me an email and expect that I'm going to give you the whole picture. It's going to take me a lot of time to teach you on that. And I also don't think you want to consult me for a long time so that we can go through all the classes. All right? Yes. So basically, you can come to Canada in two major ways. You can come here as a temporary resident, or you can come, temporary resident or a permanent resident. And when I say temporary resident, I mean these three major classes. You can come to visit. When I say visit, you can come as a business tourist. You can come as a regular tourist. You can be invited by a friend or relative, come for a graduation, wedding, come see, plan a vacation. So you can always visit Canada. That is one way under the temporary resident visa. The other way, which is really good, a really good way to come to Canada, especially if you're planning on settling here in future or just getting a good education, come to Canada to study. We have some of the best post-secondary institutions. So come here to college, come to university. We also have really good elementary schools and high schools. So people do send their kids here to study in elementary school, to come in high school. We have a lot of exchange programs which are really good for your youth, and you can come here to college, or you can come do your undergrad or any postgraduate program that you may want to do, whether it's your master's or your PhD. Canada has some of the best education in the world, so feel free to come here and study. The other way that you can come as a temporary resident is to work. So you can come and work in Canada as a temporary worker, and there are various classes that you can come, either through a work permit, or you could also be work permit exempt. It depends on what program you're coming through. If you're coming through the work permit, we have two types of work permits. You can come under an open work permit or a closed work permit. So those are generally, there's so many programs, and under that the work permit, we have the caregiver, because I know a lot of people ask me about the caregiver program. You can come under the caregiver program as a temporary worker, right? So that is a very broad class. The temporary worker class is such a huge class. We cannot address it here. But yes, that covers in a nutshell the temporary resident visas that you can use to come to Canada. All right. Then we have the permanent resident visas. You can immigrate here and live here as a permanent resident, and later on you have the opportunity to become a citizen. So once you stay in Canada for 3 years, once you've lived in Canada for 3 years, you may qualify to apply for citizenship. All right. So under the permanent resident class, we also have various classes, and I'm just going to talk about the major classes under that permanent resident class. We call it the PR. So the main one is through the economic classes of immigration. So that would be the federal classes, which is the federal skilled worker program, the federal skilled trades program, or the Canadian experience class. I know a lot of people know about express entry. Basically, those three classes are covered under the express entry. It is a point-based class, so you need to meet a certain number of points to be able to qualify for permanent residence application. We also have provincial nomination class, and I have made a good video about provincial nomination program, so please go back to my channel and watch that program on provincial nomination classes. So that is a class that falls under the permanent residence class. I'm not going to talk more about that. We also do have pilot programs that do come up, like we had the Atlantic immigration pilot, and now we are having the rural northern immigration pilot. It's supposed to come up anytime. I think it's coming up in December. It was supposed to come out in November. It's still not yet out, so we cannot submit applications yet, but that is a good way to immigrate here. It is focusing on small communities all over Canada. Most of them are in Ontario. But yes, that is going to be a nice way to immigrate to Canada as a permanent resident. There's another class, a major class, that is under family class. And family class involves family. That is why it's family class. So you can be sponsored. Mostly you can be sponsored by your family. If you're in Canada, you can sponsor your relatives, your spouse. So you can either be sponsored as a spouse, as a dependent child, as a parent or grandparent. And I think I'll make a video with scenarios of sponsorships. I am getting people who are telling me they want to be sponsored by their friends. I'll talk about that. I think that should be the next video that I make on sponsorships, just so that you know exactly who can sponsor you and who cannot sponsor you. All right? Yes, so that class of sponsorship, it's a really good way of bringing your relatives here, your parents, your children, your spouses. So that comes under the family sponsorship. right? We have another way that people don't talk a lot about it. It's the business immigration class. It's a really, really, really good class. If you have money, you can come to Canada and invest your money, you know, bring your money here, create employment, and move here permanently. We have a few classes under the business immigration class, and one of them is the startup visa. All right, you come here, you start up a business, you come with an idea, and there are a few classes under that, and that is a way that you can invest in Canada and become a permanent resident. All right. Yes, so those are the main classes. And I just want to mention, most of these classes, they do not involve Quebec. Quebec has its own immigration system. So they have also their own skilled worker classes and all that. But mostly, I'm just giving this information does not involve Quebec. All right? Yes. That is what I wanted to talk to you about, so that next time you are asking me, please have an idea, you know, like you want to come as a visitor, I can now address that. Or if you don't know, we also do eligibility, you know, we can sit down and see what you're eligible for. But then don't just ask me, quote me how much it's gonna take me to come to Canada, and then when I don't quote you, you get frustrated. Okay? Yes. So again, I do these videos. It's just to give you a general idea. Do your own due diligence, research. Read. I talked about the Government of Canada website. I think it's www.cic.gc.ca. Yes, and I know that is the old website they had. It's going to lead you to the new website. So please go ahead, read, see how you can come to Canada. And if you have, again, I say, if you have anything personal, everybody's situation, every immigration situation is different. Everybody's situation is different. You have different needs, you have different issues. And I have said this again, that there's eligibility. There's three aspects of Canadian immigration. First, you know, are you eligible, and what are you eligible for? So there's eligibility. Then there's another part that is admissibility. So you may be eligible, but are you admissible? You know, are you admissible financially? Are you admissible health-wise? Are you admissible criminally? You know, so there's that aspect of admissibility. You could be eligible, you could be admissible. That does not still guarantee you entry to Canada. The final bit is, are you going to satisfy the visa officer that you can settle and establish yourself in Canada successfully? Okay? All right. So thank you so much for keeping it here. I really appreciate. Have a good day. Have a good night wherever you are. Let's see you on Saturday. Okay? Thank you. Share, subscribe, and yeah, send this video out there. Thank you. Bye.